Alright YouTube, so this is going to be part 2 of the amplifier that was out on the mobile. So now we're inside hooked up to the bench. I'll go ahead and turn the power on. And show you what I'm using in here. Using a Galaxy 959. I'm using this little Pro Trucker coffin style microphone. This is a straight 4 HG 2879 amplifier and AM sideband, fully biased, full time, class AB, super clean with temperature tracking. I'll open this up and we'll get into that in a minute. And you're gonna see it does a lot more power on the dummy load than it did in my truck. In my truck it was doing like 450ish on AM. In here you're gonna see probably over 700. This is just, 50 ohm dummy load is perfect. It's hard to do the same thing in a mobile, I guess. That's why all the builders show it on a dummy load. It always shows, great numbers. But anyways, I'm gonna have to adjust this radio to get about 125 watt dead key out of here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We'll put that on the 250 scale. Turn the radio on, or the amplifier on AM mode. Put this on AM. Let's go ahead and turn the mic gain all the way down so we don't pick up the fan. Let's try to adjust this. Okay, I definitely have to adjust the power up. Let's just go to 100 watt. Okay, that's the rule of thumb. 25 watts per HG transistor. It's 100 watts. That's where the variable is on the radio. I didn't have to crank it up high at all. Well, let me see what that says on this meter, because I know what it was saying in the truck. It was saying almost 1.5 watts. So I'm curious to see what it says here on the dummy load. I don't think this reads right on the 5 watt scale. Yeah, definitely reads low. Probably reads about a watt low on that 5 watt scale. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we'll put it on 1000 watt scale. Turn AM back on. Go ahead and open the mic gain back up. We're just on this little mic here. Hello, audio. Hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. There's that 100 watt dead key. Hello, audio. Audio. What a difference going from a mobile to a 50 watt dummy load inside, huh? And I'm only on a 50 amp power supply in here. Audio. Audio. Hello. That's 750, 800 watts inside. Let's talk normal. Hello, audio check. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Audio 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello, come in. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Audio check. Audio check. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello, come in. Okay. I wanted to show it outside in the truck because for some reason on this setup in here, some amplifiers I can test on sideband, some I can't. Some will just not function in here. And this is one of them. It doesn't want to key up right. It's not just this amp, believe me. I've got several that act this way. There's something going on about this dummy load they don't like. I'm gonna try it though. Hello, hello. Hear the relay turning on and off. They do it in here for some reason. Hello, hello, hello. 1 1 1 1 1 1. There we go. Hello, 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 hello. Audio. Okay, so almost 600 in here. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with the amp. I've got a few other amps that act this way. It acts weird on the dummy load when I go to sideband. Okay, so I wanted to show you what it does. I'll go ahead and show you the inside of it. Stand by. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn the light on my phone. I think, okay, it'll help out. Okay, there's a couple spots on this amp where the guy that built it put his name on there. I've covered it up with tape because he doesn't want his name out there just yet. I'm going to explain why. But there's the front of it. Here's the back of it. I went ahead and had him put a little 3.5 millimeter remote on it. I put the 50 amp Anderson clip. You know, it'll come with like 18 inches of wire. You can do whatever you want. I just did that. Now here's the inside of it. What makes this amplifier different than most amps is it's full-time biased. This amplifier is built to be super clean. It's not a cookie cutter amp, you know, where each time the builder uses the same components here, you know, here. This guy, when he builds an amp, he tests every component. If he's not seeing what he likes, he'll change the components several times until he gets the amplifier how he likes it. The way he explained it to me is that he gets it as efficient as possible, which requires an extremely low dead key. So obviously you saw in the truck, a 1.5 watt dead key was getting, what was it getting? 450 out. And in here, probably that same dead key is getting 750, 800 out on the dummy load. So this guy, he has a love for electronics, you know, all things RF. He's a CB guy and a ham radio guy. He's been a ham radio guy, you know, for like probably 20 years. Yeah, probably about 20 years or so. And you know, he's watched all the guys on YouTube. He's a sharp guy, and his buddy is he's a broadcast engineer. I believe he did this in the military. He was a broadcast engineer. Maybe he could have done it when he was out of the military, but I know he has military background experience in that. So one guy builds these. He gets technical knowledge and whatnot from his buddy who's a broadcast engineer. That's why this looks different than a lot of CB amps you've seen. When I say that, I'll show you why in a minute. So he explained to me, he first tried to put the sandbar resistors for the biasing over the transistors like most builders do. But he didn't like the way that these heated up. Well, these are going to heat up because they're a resistor. He didn't like the way, when they're on top of here, that they could transfer heat, you know, to the transformer. Because when you transfer heat to the transformer, you know, it can start changing values and whatnot. So that's why he mounted them over here on the sides, to keep the heat away from here. Also, another thing that's different, if you look at the transistors, there's 4 2879 HDs. You can see on this 2-pill section, he has a diode and a capacitor and some other stuff going over this transistor. And on this 2-pill section, he's done the same thing. So what that does is it tracks the temperature of each 2-pill section, and it's able to compensate and keep the power. I'm trying to put this in the right words. Keep the power from changing when the amplifier is cold versus hot. You know, when it heats up. A lot of times, once you get an amplifier hot, a transistor amplifier, you'll see that the dead key coming out of the amplifier will have crept up, and sometimes so will the final output power, and that's because the components are heating up, values are changing. So by doing this, he's able to control the output power. So if you set it at 100 watt dead key when it's cold, when it's hot, it's still going to do 100 watt dead key. And I verified this, it stays stable. And the same thing on output power, so it's not going to change. So you're not ever going to get in a situation where you're going to run it hot and the damn thing's going to start oscillating and basically run away from you. You know, he uses the good components, you know, the 5 watt resistors, all Teflon wire in here. You see he's got 2/8 coming in for power, 2/8 coming in for ground. He's got a nice, nice bus bar there for the power coming in. There's the grounds back there. It's got a nice relay on it. The switch here is real simple: off, AM, sideband. That's it. We didn't put a variable in here, but you can get a variable if you want one. You know, he's got the metal clads on here. Now another thing he was explaining to me is a lot of the amp builders, you know, they go off of the old, let's just call it what it is. They go off of the old X-Force builds when Carl owned the company a long time ago. Those documents got put out there on the internet somehow. A lot of people got a hold of them. That's how the guys are building amps, off of those. Of course, you know, everyone puts their own twist on it. I get that. You know, nothing bad to say about any amp builder, because a lot of them build really awesome amps. Some build garbage, some build great amps. BBI is one of the guys that I think builds a very nice amplifier. The guy that builds this believes that BBI builds an excellent amplifier. That's just one example. I'm just, naming him as who I think is a excellent amplifier builder. Basically because he throws it all out there on the table and shows you what he's doing. He's not trying to hide anything. But so this guy is saying, that a lot of these other amp builders, basically it's just a routine build, a 4-pill. This component's going to have the same value. They're all going to be the same value per each build, because that's what they're used to putting there. So what this guy does is he tries different values until he gets it efficient as he possibly can, where it takes the least amount of dead key to power it up and make the most amount of power coming out of it for what it is, being as clean as possible, because it's a fully biased Class AB amplifier with temperature tracking. So you might not see as much power out of this as you would some other 4-pills, but it's for a reason. Like I said, this guy has a ham and a CB radio background, but probably more so in the ham radio. He's all about clean audio. Whether you like the clean audio or you like a little louder and raspier like I do, this is how he wanted to build an amplifier, as efficient and clean sounding as possible. So that's why some of these components, basically each amplifier he builds may have different components to suit, even though it's a 4-pill, it may require slightly different value to make it efficient as possible. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyways, this fella, he builds some amplifiers for some of us locals. That's really what he does. And I suggested to him, how about I make a video, I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll see if there's any interest. And he said, fine, just, he doesn't want his name out there. He doesn't want all the drama, all the nonsense. He uses a real nice high flow fan here. He's got the stainless steel mesh filter on there. I've got a piece of tape here, covering his name because he puts it on the inside of the amp there. But you can see it's an extremely clean build. He's very, very good with the soldering iron. All Teflon. I want you guys to be able to look in here, and if you guys know anything about amplifiers, hey, you can say, hey, I really think this amplifier is great. I'd like to buy one and try one out, or you know what, I don't, this isn't how I would build an amplifier, thanks, but I'll pass. And the thing isn't to try to push these, because that's more me than him, to be honest. Just trying to put a quality product out there. Now, he doesn't build one of these in a day. He works a full-time job, and in all honesty, it'll probably take him about 2 weekends, as of right now, to build one of these. Because, like I said, he works a full-time job. He could probably get it down to 1 weekend, though. But he likes to test one over the air for at least 2 days before he gives it to one of us locals to make sure, it's working the way it's supposed to. And if you're wondering, what these wires are going under here, there they are coming up right there. They just run through the heatsink, try to clean it up a little bit. But if anyone's interested in one of these, this is a straight 4-pill. You saw what kind of power it did on the dummy load versus in the mobile. Obviously, that Wilson or that Stryker, what is it, SR10 or whatever antenna. Probably not the best antenna I could have on there, but it's what I run because of the size and whatnot. So if anyone's interested in these, you can, if you already have my number, you can text me. If you don't, you can email me at vegasfordguy@gmail.com. Vegas, like Las Vegas, Ford, like the car company, and Guy, like, hey, there's a guy over there. vegasfordguy@gmail.com. And, be flat out honest. You can go buy a 4-pill amplifier from like Cara Built, for example, for $500 plus shipping. But it's not going to be biased like this. It's not going to have the temperature tracking. It's not going to have all the other touches. And believe me, all the love and testing that goes into these things. So these are going to be priced a little bit more. Something like you see right here is going to be priced about $750. Right about $750. And it's just super clean. The guy has all top-notch equipment, spectrum analyzer, oscilloscope, tone generator, everything he needs. And he does build all these. He runs them on the spectrum analyzer. I mean, he's got the equipment to make sure it is efficient and clean. That's the thing, guys. It's a clean amplifier. On the spectrum analyzer, you can actually put a dirty radio into this, and believe it or not, when the amp's on, it will actually clean it up. He's quite good at what he does. So I just wanted to put this out there, and if anyone's interested in one of these, you can go ahead and let me know. I think for right now, I think he's just going to stick with 4 pills. I know he's built 2 pills. I know he is capable of building 8 pills as well. But I think for right now, he just wants to stick with these. So if there's any interest, let me know. If not, hey, no problem at all. I just want to put it out there. And like I said, it's me doing it more than the builder himself. These aren't going to be like mass produced. If you want one, you're going to have to give them, I'm going to say, probably at least 2 weeks to build one for you. That way he can test it and make sure it's, you know, solid the way he wants, all the components are correct. And I'm sure he can make you a video on his oscilloscope and all his equipment. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and y'all have a good evening.